I work at Indian River Library, and we decided we were going to do a big display for summer reading. So we began by looking at Pinterest for ideas. We had decided dragon tales to fairy tales. So we found this dragon and thought he might make an interesting start. I bought a pattern on Etsy for cutting cardboard and used my Glowforge laser cutter to cut the cardboard. I decided to change the eyes because the other ones were kind of scary and he needed to be a friendly dragon, so we made big eyes. I used great stuff to fill in the spaces in the cardboard to kind of sculpt the head. And the stuff is really light and worked really well, except it's also really sticky and you got to learn how to use it. But it worked. And at first I was going to sand it down, then realized bumpy is good for dragons. I added about a bottom jaw because he needed a bottom jaw. And then painted it gold, and it started to really come together. But then it needs body parts. I began designing the body parts, figuring out how they might work. The team talked about and planned how we would do this, so we started thinking about bottom scales being green paper plates, and then I started putting together the segments after I cut them on the Glowforge. Then everybody began assembling them. Those were cupcake liners you saw. The cupcake liners ended up being perfect scales, lightweight, beautiful. Now on to the castle and the gateway. Working on this design. We worked on this for months. We probably worked on it like 3 months. This was a prototype for the wing. We ended up deciding to do it segmented and then add the cloth after. That's Elizabeth adding a beautiful green cloth. It's our workspace. The dragon needed arms that could hold cardboard books, so it needed to be designed and made. This worked out pretty well. They're ugly until you put on the scales, and the scales are made of cupcake liners. The tail took a little longer to figure out, but it worked. That's pipe cleaner sticking through. It did work. It looked ugly. It really does look yucky when you first make it, but when you cover it in the scales and paint it gold, it works pretty good. So we worked on next the legs, and that was too heavy with wood, so I had to have the wood for a heart to hold it together for that middle piece, but the rest we made out of cardboard and then used great stuff to fill up the gloves and to fill up the legs. And also, again, it looked ugly until it got its scales on and got painted. But that did work. The glove was a good idea. It has to be able to get air, by the way, to work, because solid gloves didn't work. I tried. Great stuff is picky stuff. So, onward. Oh, I want to show you how it hangs. See, I was trying to design it so it would hang right. And the rest of the body part would go together. And it would be in the middle, hang like a lizard. There it is with its cupcakes on before being painted. Then I painted it. The bottom scales. There's the plastic you can see to help reinforce the cardboard where it's going to hang. And the dragon scales and or cupcakes. Onward to the castle. The castle was bookcart boxes cut in half and stacked on top of each other. Designed a window to go in it. Cut it on the Glowforge. And that's the outside rim of it. That's got the same material as the outside of the box. Cut the hole. And then there's the windows put together and our gate. Okay, this was the top. It took a little engineering thinking. These little boxes were made so that it could hold the top away from the main box to make it look like it's sitting out. The pattern was so the glue gun glue could actually help hold it to the box. It worked pretty well. Then it grabbed and held on to it. It did pretty good. So that's what that ended up looking like, and it would sit down and hold everything out. These are ready for their tops, or getting ready for their tops. And there we go. There's Marilyn. It was all designed and thought through by a team, trying out, measuring, getting it just right. Then we covered the top part with plastic, added the banner. This was Castle Day when we installed the castle before the dragon. And notice the hair over there, it gets even more interesting. That's me and Elizabeth. Our ideas coming together. Then it was Dragon Installation Day, so we laid the dragon out on, this was also how I designed it so it would be held made these little things on the Glowforge so that they could be held, a string could go through it and it could be attached to the ceiling. You'll see in a minute how that works. And went about halfway down the body of it, and then when it lifted up, it was above the spikes. You can see the wings in the background and a lot of the... All right, so this is how that works. It went through the hole in the middle, and then it could attach by the hooks on the ceiling. Dragon Installation Day was fun. So the segments went together well, but they had gaps. We had to go in and fill the gaps with extra cupcake liners and extra paper plates. It took a long time to get that done. Just finishing touches, Deidre. And then we've got, this would be dragon filling. And finally, the whole thing is done. In through the ceiling, that was our portal idea. Out through the other end, there's the feet and the tail. The tail comes in over the staff desk behind the plastic, so it can't be easily pulled. There's our little tail. And then there it is, all put together, going in one end, coming out the other. And he ended up being pretty long, and he's holding books. That's a picture book, a little chapter book, and a teen book, all dragon books. And this is the final presentation. Look at isn't that pretty with the flowers? That really made it look good. Marilyn added the flowers. Luann came up with the curtains for behind. Altogether, this is quite a team effort for the whole team of the library. I did a lot of the cutting on the Glowforge, but most of the assembly and the ideas were all put together by the team. I think it came out pretty good.